Did someone say Weeaboots? Because I think I just heard someone say Weeaboots.
Fuck!
Welcome to another episode of Weeaboots, the anime review podcast from Gigaboots.com. This is Dan Video Games, and with me is
Bob and Jay, aka Hail Zeon.
From Hail Zeon!
Yes.
And welcome to the new season of anime. Oh my god, it has ended. The terrible quality drought has ended.
Yeah, oh my god. Last season was really, really bad to the point to where we're just like running into Drek a lot sooner, and us just fucking scrambling like let's just watch Project Echo.
Fuck it. We'll hide in the past until the present time is better.
Yeah, so yeah, we're on this new season, and we got off to a really good start.
But before we get to that, Jay, I heard you watched Ava 3.33. How did that go for you?
So I pre-ordered Ava 3.33 back in November of 2013. So I've been waiting quite a while for this, and it finally shows up. And what a dick kick that was! Like, oh, yeah, that movie is goddamn terrible. And this is coming from someone who loves Ava hardcore, like deep down, just has like a deep love for Ava.
I mean, he's got the razors, he's got the popcorn bucket.
Yeah, it's like, Bob told me it was bad, but I'm like, well, Bob isn't an Ava guy that much.
Well, I don't respect Bob's opinion.
Well, Bob does tend to, like, anything that gets kind of rambling, he does just kind of go like, oh, it's pretentious bullcrap, and he just... So I'm just like, okay, maybe he just got like super artsy and...
Maybe an hour of it is Gendo talking to Shinji about the I don't know, like...
Yeah, like to break down like the framework of that movie without spoiling anything, the first 15 minutes is kind of sort of catching you up in like what happened in between the two movies, which apparently a lot happened. And it doesn't really catch you up. It's just kind of like, this is the new status quo. Oh, okay, that's a thing now. That's the first 15 minutes. Then the next hour of the movie is dedicated to Shinji and Kaoru's like gay fanfic.
Good.
And then the last 10 minutes is the climax of the film, which is like it blue balls you. It's like trying to get you off to the climax. Like, nope, go wait 4 years for another movie, and I'm like, no, I didn't come yet. So,
did you scream that out loud or just think it very loudly when that happened?
I don't know. Ava 3.33 was such a goddamn blur.
Okay. Well, we watched a good anime.
We did!
Spoilers.
Yes.
This anime is actually good.
Yeah, we finally got back to doing good anime again, which makes me happy.
Yeah. Oh man, I thought the Japanese name was down here somewhere. That's weird.
Way to fuck that up, Dan.
I originally wrote it under the mangas, but then I realized it was the manga of what we just did, so I was like, surely Dan's wrote that somewhere.
I was like, Bob had it there, and I saw that, and now I'm seeing that it's not there anymore. Okay, the American or English or shorthand name is Erased, but the original Japanese name is Boku dake ga inai machi, which
translates
stands for a town without me.
Which is nothing like the word erased. I don't know where the hell they got that title from.
Which one, Erased or the other one?
Erased, because it's like, you look at that and go, yeah, we're just going to call it Erased.
You're that asshole who's watching the movie Jumper going, he's not jumping.
I'm pretty sure in the movie Jumper they jumped a lot. I didn't watch it.
No, literally jumping up and down.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's just like, come on, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What are you doing? I don't mind there's like a lack of actual erasing going on in the series. I'm talking about like they took this name and they went, yeah, for the English version we're just going to call it Erased because that's a long title.
It's hot.
Yeah. That definitely works better than the long title. I mean,
well, the thing is,
it's definitely more marketable.
Right.
It definitely sounds neater.
I don't think like the town without me though is
it's not marketable. I'll give it that. Absolutely.
Really?
Mainstream people.
I don't know, because I feel like the like a title like Erased, like I mean, like
It sounds like Jumper, which is marketable.
man, people are fucking stupid. Let's just continue.
Yeah, we're in an era of movies that have one word in the title. Next year's Fast and Furious will just be called Furious.
I mean, they've already just been called Fast, right?
No, Fast Furious.
Oh,
and the
okay.
Furious 8 or whatever.
Yeah, like
Furious 7.
Yeah,
Furious
they've
7.
actually just been calling them Furious now for like the last couple installments.
Right, Fast 5, I think, is when they started.
Fast 5, yeah.
Fast 5 and then Furious 6 and Furious
Well, I mean,
7.
it started with Fast Furious or whatever,
Yes.
whatever they did.
Yeah,
The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, the Fast and Furious. And
And then it became Fast and Furious, yeah. In any case, let's talk about anime instead of Vin Diesel's career.
But I want to talk about Street Sharks and Toy
Okay, let's
Fair
talk about Street Sharks at Toy Fair. Those look like pretty cool action figures.
from 1994.
Yeah, oh yeah, the coolest.
I think Street Sharks is the future of anime.
I think Vin Diesel is really, like, his career is so intertwined with anime that you can't talk about one without the other.
That's fair. That is completely fair, Bob.
Has he ever actually been in an anime?
Fuck no. Well, not
They did-
officially.
They did the Riddick anime thing, didn't
Oh,
they? So he
there's
probably
that.
was in that.
Well, the thing is that was like Peter Chung or whatever. So it's
Oh god, it was. I thought there
Yeah.
was another compilation, so just one was him.
no. It's
Okay.
Yeah, it's an entire thing directed by him. So it's actually an American production from the ground up.
You've been tricked again.
It was a super good movie though. Like it's actually better than a lot of the other ones. That he's
But let's talk about Erased. I'm here to talk about Erased, not Vin
okay.
Diesel's career, as I just got done saying. The director on this is Tomohiko Ito. Directed Sword Art Online 1, 2, and Erased. And the assistant director of The Girl Who Left Through Time, Death Note, Summer Wars, and Neuro, Supernatural Detective, all of which are TV series,
Yeah,
except for The Girl Who Left Through Time, which is a movie.
his assistant
In Summer
directing.
Wars.
And Summer Wars, sorry.
Yeah. His assistant director credits are a lot more impressive than his actual directing ones.
I don't know. I mean, I know you don't like Sword Art Online, but I wouldn't say it's poorly directed. Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
The pacing is horrible, and like thing is like there's nothing really that interesting in how it's directed is my thing. Like you know, because everything everyone ever brings up, it's like, oh well, they have like all these little digital aesthetic stuff, like when they bring up like the menu stuff, like that is stuff that is just completely inherent to the material itself, not how it's being directed.
Well, I mean, it's
this
all
honestly
from-
honestly this is directed way better.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff they did have to make themselves for the anime because it was a novel before. They had illustrations, but they didn't have straight up. This is how the both menus work. But anyway, that doesn't matter. We're not talking about Sword Art Online.
We're not? I feel like we said the name enough times. Everyone take a drink. You know how the Weeaboots drinking game goes. Jay and Bob disagree on Sword Art Online and skirt around punching each other. But,
Also, Yakitate is great. Double down.
and Nichijou is too. As we try to murder our fan base via alcoholism. In any case, the original creator is Kei Sanbei, which did, who's the mangaka on Hotaru, which is a hentai, and Kamiyadori Morio no Yurikago. How come I had no problem with that, but Tomohiko Ito, oh no, actually it was the name of this anime in Japanese that I had trouble with. Whatever, in any case. Yeah, and also, of course, the original creator of fucking Boku Dake ga Inai Machi.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't think any of the other mangas have become popular in the States. I don't know if they've been brought over or not.
well, that's because this is the first one that the OC is putting their heart into. They put themselves into it so that people can know them through their material. But that's beside the point. Let's talk about animation production. Animation production is done by A1 Pictures. They've done a lot.
Which brought us A1 steak sauce, the best steak sauce in all of anime.
This episode of Weeaboots is brought to you by A1 Steak Sauce. Be sure to try it on your Pocky and your teriyaki. In any case, they did Birdie the Mighty Decode, Black Butler, Blue Exorcist, Fairy Tale, and Gate.
Yep.
Which is, I am assuming, the sequel to Steins Gate, where they just have the title out.
Aggro was actually talking about Gate earlier today. It's like, oh, I think there's a new episode of Gate out or whatever.
I'm watching some Gate porn, and Jay's like, that's cool. Is that based on Gate? And he turns and he's like, yeah, Jay, it's based on Gate.
But yeah, I've been watching it. It's pretty fun.
Okay. I don't really know much about it. I've seen Black Butler. I mean, Black Butler's like the only A1 picture series I've seen that I really like. I really need to see Birdie the Mighty Decode because I hear it's really awesome.
It doesn't have an ending.
Not surprised.
Weird. Hopefully that isn't a thing going forward. So in any case, let's talk about this series. This series takes place in modern day.
It is.
And our main character is a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah, he's a 29-year-old pizza delivery guy who is an aspiring shitty mangaka.
Or, like, yeah, exactly. Like, he apparently gave up on that a little bit ago to some extent. Mm-hmm. And he has some sort of articles about him online, so one wonders what he's made.
Yeah,
but
he's also very cynical. Very, very goddamn cynical.
But yeah, he apparently has this power to detect when something will go horribly wrong, and time itself reverses to the point where it is preventable. They show that off in the first episode, and he stops a car or a truck from smashing into a little boy by driving up next to it and veering the steering wheel, causing it to crash into a warehouse. / him. And then from there, it really, really develops in a way where we're going to have to spoil the entire first episode. So if you aren't ready for this, just maybe sit down and go, do I want to listen to these assholes talk about this, or do I want to at least watch that first episode before coming back for opinions? You get to make that decision in the next 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let me just say, I will recommend you just go ahead and watch that first episode, because it's really goddamn good. Yeah, because like I said, we're gonna have to spoil this, and it is worth watching going in blind.
Okay, well, I already gave them the 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Now they're just lured into listening some more. But in any case, here we go. So in the first episode, his mother is murdered.
Yes.
And he starts freaking out because he gets blood on his hand from it, and his landlady came in at the exact wrong moment. He's sort of framed, so the police are going to take him to the police station. And then his ability to reverse time, that innate thing that happens to him because he doesn't actuate it, it just occurs.
Yeah.
Happens, and he goes back 18 years into grade school.
Yeah.
This anime's fucking dope.
Yeah. So yeah, because like they established, that like 18 years ago, a girl that he went to school with, like she was kidnapped and murdered, and like
along with 2 others.
Yeah,
actually.
along with 2 others, and. Like, it was preventable. Like, like he felt like he could have prevented it because he had seen her in the park that day. He could have prevented it. He's always kind of held that guilt with him a little bit.
But unfortunately, every time he sees panties, he explodes blood out of his nose and becomes super powered.
God damn it. Okay. No, enough referencing Punchline.
Because that episode never went up? No, wait, that one did.
Yeah,
that one after that, that didn't.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we actually did do the Punchline one.
Good.
But yeah,
the story's told really, really well. It's very grounded, except for that one special ability.
Yeah.
So it makes it more of a like interesting psychological thriller in a way, because you're trying to figure out like how the kidnapping of the kids is tied to his mother being murdered, and why that would actuate him going back in time 18 years and. Like, they're slowly giving you details, and you're finding out more and more about this girl he went to grade school with who was murdered. And
yeah, very, very specifically, like the girl, the person who murders the girl is the same person who murders his mother's.
Right.
Is what it very heavily implies.
Right, clearly.
Right.
But,
yeah, it's just...
Let's get names out of the way real quick. The main character's name is Satoru Fujinuma. And the girl we keep talking about's name is Kayo Hinazuki.
Yes.
Now, there are other characters, Sachiko Fujinuma, his mother. I don't feel that's necessary to go into here.
Yeah.
And Airi Katagiri, which is his co-worker.
Yeah. Right, and she's in the modern day, so it's weird. They spent a lot of time in the first episode kind of introducing her, and then we go to the past and, like, the beginning or the end of episode 1. So I have to wonder if
she would be like 7.
She wouldn't even be alive yet because she's 16.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, she's a 16-year-old high school girl.
Sorry, I swapped the numbers of how old he was and how many years he went back.
Right. Yeah. So she wouldn't even be born yet. So it's kind of weird that like they've established her so thoroughly, because it does feel like at some point, like I'm assuming at some point he's going to end up going back to the present, and she's going to end up being relevant again.
Now, here's the interesting thing that you should know going into this anime. There are 7 volumes of the manga out.
Yeah. It's still ongoing.
That is worrying.
And this is only greenlit for 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this whole thing wraps up, and then there's some other new adventure he goes on, and you don't have to worry about it.
I'm honestly just going to be pissed if it doesn't immediately roll into another season. At no point will I go, well, it's okay because...
Well, that's because you need your Conan fix.
Well,
you
it doesn't
need like
even-
your little boy detective story.
No, it really doesn't push the same buttons because where are the hyper shoes and the tape?
True.
Why doesn't he love soccer?
Yeah. Also, he's at all a developed character. And not
too.
some ridiculous archetype almost.
Right.
Yeah,
With some weird character traits of making his girlfriend miserable thrown in.
Yeah, like I will say though, like Satoru, like out of like every like anime protagonist I've come across, this may be like the one where like I feel for the most. Like I totally get like this dude where he's coming from. It's like like he had aspirations of doing something bigger. It completely falls through. He's he's a fucking pizza delivery guy at 29 years old. Mm-hmm. And he's just very cynical. Just doesn't give a shit about people. Really, he really finds them just kind of obnoxious and bothersome. But because he has this goddamn ability, he feels obligated to. And I love the concept of his character. I love like just like dialogue and things like that. His exchanges with people.
Mm-hmm. He definitely is not your typical anime character. I mean, he's over the age of 18. That already sets him quite far apart from the typical.
Yeah, especially when you consider that. Like, and they do have like a high school aged girl, so they could have made him high school age if they wanted. They could have. They could have had him, be high school age and her just be a little bit younger or whatever, but they didn't. And yeah, I really appreciate that they just went for a full adult protagonist.
I mean, the thing is, this anime is clearly more intelligent than most animes. It's more grounded.
Yeah.
And interested in character development and, stuff like that. So the main character is a reflection of the idea of what the demographic for this anime is. And I think it hits the nail right on the head. Mm-hmm. Which, since how many times it comes up in it that he was criticized for his attempts at making manga not being personal enough and he's not digging deep enough in himself to put it himself into his work. It's sort of like the nod to the audience of like, hey, I'm putting myself into this. And like, I could see how somebody who made hentai and one other thing no one's heard of might do that for a manga, not knowing that it would actually take off, but incorporating that straight into it to be like, okay, well, here's the nod, the tip of the hat. I am seriously sitting here trying to think if this is... Well, let's talk about the animation, though, real quick, before I go into that. I thought it was really good. There are only a couple moments of strange CG, and still they draw the outlines on it in a weird way that sort of like masks it even slightly.
Yeah.
It's still a little strange, but I don't find there are any moments in this where I go, that looks fucking ugly.
Yeah, like
Right.
it has a lot of artistic merit behind it. Like, because it's a very simple series, so they don't have to like have like like a really
Explosions and tons of fight scenes.
yeah. So they get to just use their budgets throughout and very well, and just like what was it like when Satoru finds his mother. Like that is or actually when she first gets out, like that is a grisly, unsettling scene, and I really think the budget and the animation really helps sell that. Like when you're watching it, it is unsettling watching her tumble over, and you see like the like her point of view and her vision's hazing out, and she's like trying to like reach for a phone, and you see the blood dripping off of her fingers, and it's just it's very visceral, and they're really good at that in this series. Like this director really does know what the hell he's doing, and. It's slight spoiler. Hinazuki, she's she gets the shit abused out of her by her mother. And they
The way they broach the subject is very, very mature, very grounded and real.
Yeah, like it's not just there for shock value. Like you could see, like like this is the type of shit.
Like some animes we've watched for Weeaboots.
It's
just like feelings, and you're like, it's kind of
like this,
stop
this
hitting that
is,
button.
It's just uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable in this very grounded way where no, this is what sick, fucked up, abusive parents do to their kids. It's not like it's the generic alcoholic dad who just like kicks his kid around or whatever, and they just take it to a stupid extreme for shock value. This is once again a very real, visceral, just it hits you, and you're just it makes you feel really uncomfortable, but in that thematically appropriate way.
Right. I mean, her mother is not a fusion with Hitler like you often see with the alcoholic dads. Like, I'll punch her, then I'll punch you, then I'll punch God. It's like how they usually handle that sort of thing, not just in anime, but in a lot of shit.
Yeah, even like in American cinema, like we're still...
Especially TV.
Oh, yeah, especially with all the melodrama.
As far as animation goes, I really like the way they made... When they go back to 1987, it really has a distinct look to it. Like, you can tell it's not modern.
88.
88? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, it's one of those years.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it doesn't have any weird... Like, the architecture and stuff looks very much 88. It doesn't have anything that stands out as, like, that should be newer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do like how the series carries itself. Bob, what do you personally like about the series, or what do you like? What express feelings?
All right, I think it's really good. Like I've enjoyed it a lot so far. I want to see where it's going. It really has that catch you in for another episode sort of feel to it. Like the endings are just make you want to see what happens next.
Yeah,
It's not like a cliffhanger or something like Ava we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But it very much is building on things, and there's constantly introducing new elements to it.
Yeah, that's something that the series I've noticed has done really well. It's just like every episode, it just kind of like I would say like the first episode is a cliffhanger.
Yeah, the first episode.
But episodes
definitely
2 and
is.
3 ended on this note of like, oh man, like I'm really stoked. I want to see the next one. Like I'm really upset that we started watching this so soon because I'm like, I want to see more of this. I wish I could have seen more to review for this.
This is where my incredible ability to not give a shit about things until they are in a convenient form factor really comes into play. It would actually be pretty cool if, say, like American television does, if I could buy a season pass for this on iTunes and just get it as it comes out.
Right.
That shit ain't happening. Nobody's announced bringing this over, right?
Not yet. I don't think.
We're only 4 episodes in as of this recording. So.
Yeah.
Which we watched 3 because episode 4 is coming out in a few hours. So.
Yeah. We're recording this a little bit in advance of like when the
episodes go up.
Yeah. But yeah, just I definitely see this getting licensed. There's no way in hell this isn't getting licensed. Now, whether it gets licensed by Funimation or Sentai, I'm not sure which one. It's kind of a 50-50 because this seems like something that both would go for.
What was the last grounded, good, and like mentally capable series that Funimation licensed?
Steins Gate.
Other than Steins Gate.
Oh.
And wasn't that like years ago now?
Yeah, it was a few years ago now. Like Steins Gate's the one that stands out to me, but I do know they've picked up others.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the last one I can remember is Robotics Notes, which is...
Oh yeah, Robotics Notes was another one.
But that was in the same sort of time period as Steingate was.
But yeah, like
I'm so used to them bringing trash over.
Yeah, they love their smut.
Yeah, well, because like it seems like every year, like they grab like a handful of like the big core popular titles. Except for One Punch Man, Viz beat them to the punch on that. No pun intended. Because that's I think that's like a Viz owned series, so it's yeah.
What does Viz do with shit once they get the rights in the States? What are
they
gonna do about that?
They produce a dub, put it online for streaming. I think on Hulu usually.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
I forgot about that.
because that's how I was watching One Punch Man, which I finished, and it was fantastic.
Huh.
Yeah, that was really good. So for anyone who was just like, I don't know, like that One Punch Man podcast really didn't sell me.
Didn't sell me.
They weren't excited about that. They hated it.
Yeah, if you're like one of the 3 guys who apparently are like listening to this and still holding up on One Punch Man. One Punch Man, yeah, it was fucking great.
But yeah, they typically do DVD and Blu-ray releases, right?
Yeah, they are going to do that, and because it's Viz, and Viz is owned by, or Viz is like I think owned by Warner Brothers. I think, yeah. That means it'll have like wide distribution, so like Walmart will carry One Punch Man when it comes out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and great actually.
Yeah,
because it needs to be that level of anime. But in any case, so here's the thing. Mm-hmm. The animation's great. The intro and outro, whatever.
I really like the intro.
They're good.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right, like, this is when we're going to get into something strange. Intros and outros for anime, the metric by which I measure it is sort of incompatible with this sort of format where I kind of measure it by, like, fantastical animation and catchiness of song. I don't think, like, super catchy music. Like, imagine Zam's intro going to this shit. That would make no fucking sense.
Yeah.
So, like, the criteria with which I measure an intro and an outro doesn't really apply here at all, because it would just clash with the source material.
Right.
So with that understanding, yes, it's a really good intro and outro, but it doesn't rank for me just because it's not that.
See, like, I thought, like, visually, the intro and outro were fantastic. Like, especially, like, the outro, because, like, there's so much animation going on in the outro. Like, you don't
especially
get that
for an
ever.
outro,
Yeah, it's really weird to, like, really see that kind of level of detail put into it, and effort put into it. Asian Kung Fu Generation is does, like, the intro title song, and their Asian Kung Fu Generation. They're good. Basically, it sounds like a watered-down version of Rewrite, which was the last ending theme to Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them what the Asian Kung Fu Generation has done.
Oh, they did,
Naruto.
they did like the second Naruto intro. They did which Bleach intro, Bob?
One of the Bleach intros.
Yeah, they did they were very prevalent around like 2003 to 2005. Like, they did a lot of anime intros around that time. Like, they're kind of like one of those go-to guys. And I haven't really seen anything with them since then. And I was listening to this, I was like, oh, it sounds kind of like, it sounds a lot like Rewrite. And then I see Asian Kung Fu Generation, I'm like, that's why. Because it's Asian Kung Fu Generation. There we go.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, it definitely feels like a watered-down version of that song. But, like, it's still a solid song, both intro and outro songs. Like, you know, and the visuals of the intros and outros are so
Striking.
yeah, they're so striking, so aesthetically pleasing, and it really complements the tone and atmosphere of the show as a whole.
Yeah.
That I am totes down for that. Like, I really, really just
It's
enjoy
effective.
them. Yeah, it works.
Bob, what were your thoughts on the intro and outro?
I'm gonna live with you. I don't remember them too well because I didn't explicitly rewatch them for the sake of this. I kind of forgot to pay extra close attention to them.
I meant to watch them with fan subs because I realized the thing that's lacking in Weeaboots is we generally don't get a translation of the intro or outro before we do the reviews of them. And that deeply bugs me because the Watamote intro is really good.
Yeah, it's one of those things like if you just hear it without the subtitles, you really, or actually any of the songs in that, because they're all really, they're all specifically designed for the show. So if you don't have subtitles, you don't get that. So you're just like, okay, it's a song. But whenever you have it within the context lyrically of what they're saying, you're like...
And it works on two levels.
Yeah.
Because not only does it sound like a theme for that anime and for that character's psyche.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, though, Erase theme, there's no way in hell this was made for the show. Like, I don't see Asian Kung Fu Generation making a song like this for Erased.
Maybe the manga blew up insanely and they were like, hey, compose a song for Erased.
Yeah, it's possible. I will say... Okay, so one of my big concerns with this... It is a mystery anime. And this anime, its quality as a whole, hinges on how well they execute this and like
Terran Resonance says what?
Yeah, that's what I was getting horrible Terran Resonance vibes because I'm like, I love the first.
There's no way that episode 4 is gonna introduce like some character who's named 4 and has awful mechanics behind what she does.
Yeah, but the thing is,
sorry, let me stop you for just a second. You saw how episode 3 ended, and you're going to tell me that a terrible arch nemesis isn't cropping up in 4?
Yeah.
Also, we have till 5. Thank you, because her name was 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it was Hive.
because Terran Resonance, like the first 2 episodes, I thought were fantastic. I'm like, yeah, this is good Watanabe. Because especially with Watanabe's name attached to this, it's like, you know, how the hell are you gonna go wrong? And you get to the first 2 episodes, you're like, yeah, this is good. Let's keep going. And yeah, it was building up like this mystery and stuff. And then by episode 4, it's just like, okay, it's losing me a little bit, but it's still maintaining some quality. And then it just tanked so hard, episode 5, and I'm terrified that I'm gonna get really, really invested in this series. And it's gonna be fucking horrible after a few episodes, and yeah, like I'm worried that it's gonna have the Terran Resonance effect, where like like they wrote a really strong opening, but because it's like a mystery story, they're gonna keep trying to drag it out, and it's gonna start getting dumb, and they're gonna keep adding convoluted bullshit to it to just make it more distended, and I'm really, really worried about that.
So you know how you were like, man, that sounds a lot like Rewrite?
Mm-hmm.
The song's called Riri.
I noticed that. And I chuckled too, because I'm like, Riri. But,
And that's fair.
yeah.
But, yeah, okay, it looks like it wasn't composed for it, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
It's just a normal song from them.
Yeah. This is... Yeah, so like I said, though, so far I'm pleased, but...
I'm trying to think of, and we'll get into recommendations and things like that, Outlook. I'm trying to think of any anime in Weeaboots that I liked as much as this one that was serious, because Shirabako's goofy. Or not Shirabako,
Barakamon.
Barakamon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty goofy anime.
Yeah, that
It's
has
lighthearted
obviously-
feels anime.
Yeah.
And Sakurako's investigation was good, but
God damn it, yeah.
go
fucking
watch that
Sakurako.
episode. In any case.
What a piece of shit that was.
Yeah, I think this is really, really good in the way that I like to just find a whole anime of this quality. So us having watched 3 episodes, I'm kind of also in that same boat of, well, fucking shit, dicks. I wanted to watch this whole thing in one sitting. I want to own this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those, like, if it maintains this quality, or even if it possibly even gets better, I will be all over this. I will totally buy the series, and I will look forward to it coming out. But yeah, like, we've definitely never really reviewed anything that was this tone of serious and grounded, while also being this quality of good.
I mean, this is kind of like, tonally speaking, kind of like Space Brothers, but it's got that thriller murder thing
Right, I
going
mean, Space
on
Brothers never gets into,
No.
oh man, who's gonna kill him?
Right, no. It's just that character development heavy in this,
Right.
and that grounded in, like, serious events and things like that. In fact, if anything, Space Brothers is slightly more goofy than this, just because the main character is an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like this. I'm really pissed that it's only greenlit for 12 episodes at this point. That's not okay for me. I'm probably gonna end up reading the manga as soon as the anime ends.
Right.
And
Well,
I get a copy
I'm wondering
of
if
that.
the anime is going to have, like, its own anime exclusive ending. Because...
I feel like we haven't done that in so long. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it's also... Wait, have we? It's less common, but it still happens. 'Cause, I mean, Black...
What's the
Yeah,
most
like-
recent one?
I mean, because,
then?
like, Black Butler is a good example of one that did that. It had its own unique ending.
wasn't
then it had a
Black
season.
Butler from
like
from
6 years ago or something?
Yeah.
Isn't that like? I mean, not the same time as Full Metal, but only a few years after that.
Yeah, it is just a few years after Full Metal Alchemist. So I'm trying to think, like, how commonplace it is. Yeah, the thing is, though, I mean, I don't know, like, how to feel like, because we may end up just not getting an ending at all and just getting the finger instead.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
that's,
Black Butler was 7 years ago
Oh, wow.
in
gosh.
Japan, obviously.
Yeah, geez, that's...
Yep.
Still, and then again, when I think of Full Metal Alchemist, that was fucking 12 years ago.
12?
2003.
jeez.
That's when it came out in Japan.
That would be 13.
Oh, 13. Oh, God. It's 2016. Damn, why did you tell me
tomorrow?
Why did you tell me it was the fucking future?
Hey, Jay.
Uh-huh.
It's the fucking future.
Where the hell's my hoverboard?
Oh, they blow up, so you don't want one.
I don't give a shit. I still want a hoverboard.
Drop me on a hoverboard with no feet. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of concerned, though, because like I said, like, the manga's still ongoing. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the series, but as of right now, based on these first few episodes, I am so stoked and invested in this series. Like, I cannot wait to see the next episode.
I mean, Terror and Resonance, like, it had elements that could allow for that development to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, like, the way it carried itself with this exciting
I felt like
tone.
I was never as hyped about Terror and Resonance as I am about this. Like, I don't think it pulled off being
Yeah.
a serious tone anime well at all. Because, like, the first episode, they bomb a place and somehow don't kill anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. They really pulled their punches on that. And yeah, if you're interested in all three of our opinions on Terran Resonance, go watch that episode. It's from a little over a year ago, but it's still worth listening to. But yeah, I feel like for this to do that would be absolutely insane. For it to turn into the Terran Resonance problem of 5 and
Yeah,
stuff
I just feel like, because as they start unfolding the mystery, it could just start getting really stupid and stop making thematic sense. Like, it could go that route, and that's
okay, so check it out. If it's that someone else also has the reset power, and they're trying to kill his mom to do something to him, that's its own thing.
Yeah.
As long as it isn't like, I'm a spirit that's immortal and have been resurrecting through time a billion times because I hate you, main character. That is when we hit Terran Resonance levels.
No,
that's Final Fantasy 13. Jesus.
Yeah.
13-3 or 1?
2 and 3.
God damn 2 and 3. Those are so fucking stupid. Jay, have you seen the ending to 13-3?
No.
You owe it to yourself because it is so up its own ass that knowing nothing about it, you're just like...
No.
Why are they flying through space?
No.
Why is this Ava? Are we in instrumentality right now?
No.
No, it's really incredible. You should watch it. You should all watch it. That's my most recommended anime this season. The YouTube video that is the ending of 13-3. And you fucking watch it and you're like, 13-2 sets up for this, right? And Bob goes, no. And then I watch that ending and I'm like, he's right. This is totally, completely different. These characters aren't even the same people.
It's amazing.
Fucking that thing.
Like I said, it could just completely derail. So if they do add in something really dumb, like, because I really do want just a straight up, a more straightforward murder mystery, and if it is just so happens that the killer has the same type of time travel powers, except his are like, it's the thwart people, like, main character guy or something, then I'm going to start getting really pissed off because, like, I really want this to be a more straightforward, murder mystery with just this time travel gimmick for this character.
You can develop another character having the time travel powers in a way that isn't terrible. I mean, look at the girl who leapt through time. She had the time travel powers, and then it's explained in the ending, and then it's explained the relationship and why her traveling is bad and that had to stop or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, that sort of thing can happen here and it'll be okay. But if it is, I traveled through time to kill you, main character coon, I would really hate that, and that would be bad.
Yeah, and then they can get into like a really dumb psychological mind game where it's just like, this kid...
We each have to keep traveling through... It can become Back to the Future 2, where they can't get the dad's actor to return, so they kill him.
Well, yeah. Also, okay, the one thing I have an issue with is this series, is Hinazuki, like, she seems way too goddamn smart to be a 10-year-old.
Which implies...
that she's a time-traveling wizard? No.
No, it does that.
But
yeah, she seems to know a little bit too much when they first met there. It was like,
she seems like way too intelligent for her age. And honestly, I think a lot of the kids are a little too smart for 10. I feel like if they were like 14, 15, this would be a bit more excusable, but it really just...
I don't know, like, most of his friends seem dumb as dirt, except his one friend who is the smart friend.
I don't know, like, I mean, kind of like that one kid, like he intentionally loses the race, and then, like, the kid could tell. And it's like, kids are dumb. Kids don't pay attention to that kind of shit.
Okay, you are underselling kids.
Yeah.
You just are. I've known literal geniuses throughout my life who were that level of emotionally and mentally mature at young ages. And those same people are the ones who are horribly abused. Like, physically and otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, like
they exist. It's not like, it's like, this is kind of like the discussion about like, oh, this is so exploitatious to have a chick with big tits. It's like, chicks with big tits are real.
Yes.
We can have them in fiction too. Stop being so up your own ass about your smaller tits, which, to be fair, ladies, not everyone wants to break their hands.
Yeah. I will say, though, like, I mean, yeah, I'm not that upset with Hinazuki.
Some people, Jim Ratgazer, do want to break their hands. Just, I know he gets upset when I imply that there isn't anyone
else.
That there aren't people who want to die on that hill.
But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I talk to kids at my job all the time, and yeah, there are lots of them that are
really bright,
and there are lots that are really not. It's just the way
like,
it is.
Where I kind of draw the line with Hinazuki is only because she starts like dissecting Satoru as an individual, and that just seems a little beyond that of a 10-year-old, specifically like a 10-year-old.
You mean when people realize that other people are faking it?
Yeah.
If you spend enough time looking at someone, you can notice that sort of thing. And I noticed things like that as a kid.
Yeah. And like I mean, with Hinazuki, like it's not that bad because like she does have like this backstory that would imply like she would need to grow the fuck up a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And make her maybe observe and like maybe be more judgmental of the people around her.
She closes herself out from other people, so she's defensive. So she observes them more.
Yeah, it just seems like like when she starts like breaking down Satoru as an individual, like that kind of blindsided me a little bit. And her backstory does help subside some of that.
Right. I mean, if Katagiri did it, the coworker from the pizza joint, that would be super like.
Yeah, because she comes off a lot ditzier, but it just seems like as far as kids go, like I don't feel like they talk like kids. Because I mean, like yes, kids can be smart. It just I feel like as considering they're all 10-year-olds, they all talk like a little like they're a little too observant. They're a little too intelligent for their age because they're all kind of like that. It feels like I think they're like 3.
I think they're like 3.
3?
The 3 kids who are perceptive.
Yeah, right, like his blonde, like I said, his blonde hair friend, but his other friends really aren't like.
I don't know, kind of daft bastards, actually.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you like her? Yeah, I go set you up now.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's something that even friggin' high schoolers do.
Yes, people are stupid throughout time. Is my major point here.
Okay, good point.
Genius people are often the same level of genius as they are as adults, as kids. What was it? Mark Cerny kept like a saying, a Japanese saying on his, or actually I don't know where the origin is, on his workstation while working at Sega, and he still does to this day, where it's like, when the child prodigy grows up, he's no longer exceptional. Because you're not a child prodigy.
Huh. It's an interesting way of looking at that. Yeah,
it's like, true. That's bitterly depressing, Mark Cerny.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his coworker at Sega, I shit you not, had a thing strapped to his workstation that said, fuck Miyamoto. I'm not making that up.
Why fuck Miyamoto?
Because he worked at Sega. And no one knew his fucking name. Sega back then, before Sonic, was cranking out a game, I'm not exaggerating, every 3 months. They developed and released games within a 3-month time window for the Master System, which if you go look at the games, yeah, they did. And Sonic was the first one they remotely really tried on. So like that guy, that random no name nobody that no one knows about is just working at this shithouse factory looking at Miyamoto, and everyone's like, he's the creator of Mario, it's so amazing. And he's just like, fuck you. I could do that if the assholes would give me money. It'd be great if it was the creator of Sonic.
Also, I love Satoru's mom. She's a fun character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she comes off like very much like a mom, but she's kind of just that single mom. Like she's really well written. Also, she's also a really hot mom. Just gotta throw that out there.
Her lips are weird. I was like, man, her lips are weird. I guess she's older. And then they're like, she's older than you think. And I'm like, okay, well, that explains that. She's still drawn like a hentai character.
I feel like those lips show up in a lot of things.
And like a couple characters in this reminded me of the chick from Fooly Cooly, not Hara Hara Haruko, but the other one who's dating his brother.
Yeah,
she got those lips once in a while.
Yeah,
no, she had those lips, like straight up. And it was really funny because other characters looked like the palette, but then the mother had the lips. So it was just really funny to me to see that.
Damn it, I'm trying to remember her goddamn name.
Good luck.
Oh my god.
Check this out. Her name probably translated to good for nothing bitch. It's just a theory. An anime theory.
All right, we start a new series. Let's do it.
Is it Hinomori?
Fucking who cares?
I don't know.
It's Fully Cooly. Fuck you. Everybody cares. Everyone should care about Fully Cooly because Fully Cooly.
Should everyone care about every character in Fully Cooly?
She was a really well-developed character.
She was a piece of shit.
She was, but that doesn't mean she was a terrible person. She wasn't a terrible character.
Hey, what's the name of the bright kid who isn't like damaged girl or a main character in the grade school?
Huh?
You know, in that
Blondie?
the anime we're talking about. Yeah, what's Blondie's name?
Blondie.
Oh, okay.
He released several hit albums.
He was like, call me! Call me!
Anytime. Man, he's got a deep voice for an 11-year-old kid.
Yeah, it was their other coworker, their other childhood friend, Bon Jovi.
Jolna Bon Jovi! But yeah, no, really good.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend this anime highly enough.
Yeah, it's maybe like the best thing we've watched on Weeaboots, unless it's turned into a complete shit show by the end.
I better not become the Ebert of this series, because every time you guys are really mean on a series, I find that, weirdly enough, I end up being the guy who's like, no, it's trash, watch it. Because, like, if it's far enough in the shit direction, go ahead. But I feel like I'm too positive about many of these. But then again, we watched Little Witch Academia, and I was like,
Yeah, you were the sour apple.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
Fuck, I am Ebert.
Yeah, seriously, because we're like, yeah, it's a cute, fun witch series. You're like, I hate cute and fine.
That's how that went.
Like, I hate things that are adorable. Give me something cerebral.
Little girls, why aren't they fucking? Dan, you're a monster. You know that, right? If we have recordings, you know this goes up on the internet. Yeah, no. But yeah, I always feel weird about that. In any case, cool, yes. Erased. Super awesome. Hey guys, guess what we're watching for next week? Komugi R?
Nurse Witch Komugi R.
So
Yay.
watch that and join us next week for that. See you then.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Weeaboots. Go check out our video game coverage over at Gigaboots on YouTube and consider supporting us via Patreon so we can continue making Weeaboots. Jay from HailZeon.com is Hail Zeon on YouTube, and our theme song is Android by Luckhash. You can check out more music from Luckhash at www.luckhash.com.